Hi all, just thought I'd do a short video today with some practical tips on how to attract the best cloud talent to your business. Clarity. Have a clearly defined and well-written job description based on your current needs and future plans. Don't dust an old one off from 2 years ago. It won't serve you well and it can create a negative impression in the market. Be honest. Don't overinflate or oversell the role. If when the individual is onboarded, the reality of the role doesn't match what was laid out in the job description, it can lead to disappointment and possible retention issues. Avoid shopping lists of technologies. Think about what you really need and include that. You probably don't need your Google Cloud Architect to be able to program in COBOL, so don't put it on there. Differentiate. The market for cloud talent, even in this climate, is really competitive, and I'll include some data on that in the comments below. It's a safe assumption that any candidate you're speaking to is also speaking to other organisations with similar pay scales and similar tech stacks. So really think about what makes you different. Why your organisation? Why your team? What does your current environment look like? Share that insight technically and organisationally. What are the interesting problems you're trying to solve? And what's your vision for the environment in the next maybe 1 to 3 years? And most importantly, how does this role you're recruiting for fit into that vision? If the candidate can visualise themselves and their trajectory and their progression within your organisation, that will play a really big factor in their decision-making process when they're comparing other offers. Compensation. It is an obvious one, but it is important. Do some market research, or even better, have your talent partner do that for you and provide you some valuable data on that. Make sure your expectations and your budget are aligned. If they're not, something's going to have to give and you're going to either have to adjust your budget or your expectations. Employee advocates. These can work really well. Think about having a current team member, maybe write a couple of paragraphs or maybe even record a short video that can be embedded within the job description, maybe outlining a typical day in the life within your organisation. Another popular idea actually is have a would-be peer meet with the candidate at the end of the process. Have a transparent and open dialogue about what it's like to work within your team. That level of transparency not only gives the candidate some important insight, but also shows that you're an honest and open employer, which should also be a really important factor to the candidate when considering you, especially comparing and benchmarking against other employers. So definitely one to include. Marketing.
Market.
What's it like to work in your team? If you're consistently looking to attract top talent in the cloud market, it's a good idea to have a marketing strategy focused around it. Get to know your target audience and make sure that your marketing is aligned to it. If you don't have the capacity to manage this in-house, you can use a talent partner that does. I can't think of one that has specific products designed with this feature in mind. If I think of one, I will let you guys know, but no, can't think of any at the moment. Candidate experience, not to be underestimated, and things to definitely avoid. Overly complex application processes and cover sheets and forms. Impersonal interviews that don't give the candidate an opportunity to ask any questions. Overly arduous technical tests that include subject matter that really have no context or relevance to the role that you're recruiting for. Surprisingly common, that, by the way. And speed of feedback, not just for candidates that you like, but for candidates that haven't got through your process as well. Really important one. And if it's candidates you do like, momentum is a real big factor. So this all really matters. And if it's consistently subpar, it will negatively impact your ability to attract top talent to your business. Speak to any recruiter. We've all spoken to numerous candidates that will rule out certain organisations purely because they know their process is painful. Have a talent attraction process, not a talent repellent. If you are using a talent partner, have a scoping call. A clearly defined job spec is great, but investing 10 minutes of your time with the recruiter that's going to be going to the market on your behalf, just to dig in the detail beneath the job spec will be really helpful, and it will really help the recruiter to be able to filter out the most relevant candidates and also inject that enthusiasm when they're pitching your role to the market. Having that recruiter being a brand advocate for you, this 10-minute scoping call will really help with that. I hope you found this helpful. If you do feel you've got room for improvement here and you'd like a free health check of your recruitment and talent attraction processes, there's a link to my diary below.